On the news tonight, State Executive Council approves over 400 billion naira for projects and programs. Traditional rulers are pillars of peace and development, says Governor Oborewori. President Bola Tinubu holds security meeting with security chiefs. And abroad, Congo set to vote in presidential election on Sunday. Good evening and welcome to Delta Television Main News. I am Tony Eluaka. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. Now the details. The State Executive Council has approved projects and programs worth over 400 billion naira, cutting across different sectors of the state economy. This was part of the approvals by the ESCO at a meeting held in Government House Asaba and was presided over by Governor Sheriff Oborewori. Ejime Udueme reports.
He added that 1.5 billion naira was approved for the second phase of the DCARES program, which will be implemented by the Ministry of Economic Planning. Mr. Aniago further revealed that in preparation for the proposed state police in Nigeria by the federal government, the council approved 34 billion naira for the construction of state-of-the-art police divisions and special protection units to be located in the 25 local government areas of the state.
Beyond the issues of the many roads, in all the projects approved at today's ESCO is about 400 billion naira. That is the highest the state has ever had since it was created. 400 billion naira to address these needs across the 25 local government areas, you agree with me, is not a joke. But we take very, very seriously the issues of establishing these police, divisional police stations that will be state-of-the-art across the 25 local government areas. And of course, it's ahead of the federal government policy, the introduction of the state police across the country.
To address accommodation shortages in state-owned tertiary institutions, the ESCO also approved the construction of 9 hostels for male and female students. The Commissioner for Higher Education, Professor Nyeru Tonukari, said each hostel will contain about 120 rooms.
Delta State University of Abraka currently houses more than 35,000 students. But that university does not have hostel that can take even a little more than 2,000 students. Then all these universities, the new ones, they can hardly take even some few hundreds of students. So today, Delta State ESCO approved building of hostels, one for male, one for female, in all 9 tertiary institutions in Delta State.
Additionally, the council approved the renovation of 42 courts across the state. Providing further details, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Ekemejiro Okwovoriole, SAN, explained that the renovation will cover 14 customary courts and 26 magistrate courts. He also disclosed that approval was granted for the construction of 10 residential quarters for judges, with 5 located in Osubi and 5 in Asaba.
In addition, we'll also be renovating 26 magistrate courts across the states. If you add that together, you have 42 courts that are going to be renovated at the grassroots. I think that's a very big plus for the judiciary. And with this, I think we can say that justice is coming closer to our people.
The Commissioner for Housing, Honorable Godnose Angele, whose ministry will supervise the housing projects, assured that every effort will be made to ensure that Deltans receive value for money on the projects. To boost electricity supply in rural communities, the council also approved 5 billion naira for the Rural Electrification Agency. Ejime Udueme reporting.
Governor Sheriff Oborewori has said that traditional rulers are pillars of peace and development. The governor said this at the 88th birth anniversary celebration of the Obi of Owa Kingdom, Dr. Emmanuel Efizemo II, at the Owa Palace, Owoyibo, Ika Northeast local government area. Pere Botu reports.
The governor, represented by his deputy, Sir Monde Oyeme, described the revered monarch as a symbol of wisdom and a stabilizing force whose leadership has been instrumental to the progress of Ika Northeast local government area and the state at large. The governor said his administration deeply values the council and partnership of traditional rulers. He noted that royal fathers remained the closest to the grassroots and served as vital bridges between the government and the people. The governor acknowledged the wisdom, guidance, and stabilizing influence royal fathers played and sued for continued support for collective efforts to sustain peace, strengthen communities, and advance development across the state. He pledged his administration's commitment to advance peace, infrastructure development, and inclusive growth across the state in order to continue to deliver meaningful dividends of democracy to every community. Governor Oborowori congratulated the Owa monarch for his 88th birth anniversary and almost 66 years on the throne, saying his enduring legacy of leadership and service was novel, describing him as a towering symbol of wisdom, peace, unity, and progressive leadership.
On behalf of the government and the good people of Delta State, I warmly congratulate you, Your Majesty, on this occasion and celebrate your enduring legacy of leadership and service.
He said the Owa monarch is a peacemaker, father to all, and former chairman of the Delta State Council of Traditional Rulers, adding that his leadership continues to strengthen the traditional institution and good governance. The event was marked by the conferment of royal honors on some deserving sons and daughters of the kingdom. I am Pere Botu reporting.
The State Deputy Governor, Sir Monde Oyeme, has commended the illustrious career of Professor Josephine Anene Okakwa, the retiring provost of the Federal College of Education, Technical, Asaba. Sir Oyeme will give the commendation during the retirement ceremony held at the college premises, appreciated her decades of dedicated service. Pere Botu completes the report.
Sir Oyeme lauded her journey from humble beginnings to leadership, highlighting her significant contributions to the institution's growth. The deputy governor noted that she started her career from the scratch and rose to the apex, expressing joy that she is bowing out of service meritoriously. Sir Oyeme assured the institution of continued support from the state government, adding that the government would continue to collaborate and synergize with the Federal College of Education Technical Asaba for its optimal growth. Earlier, the chairman on the occasion, Chief Luke Anyanwu, commended the outgoing provost for elevating the college to a degree-awarding institution. He said she laid the foundation and implemented the necessary structure for the institution to grow higher. Chief Anyanwu congratulated her on a well-earned retirement, emphasizing that it came at the expected age after meritorious service and not for being found wanting. For his part, Senator Emmanuel Bwacha, chairman of the Governing Council of the Federal College of Education Technical Asaba, also praised the state government for its synergy with the institution. He urged staff to exercise patience and faith in their career, advising them to rely on God for direction and avoid struggling for positions. I am Pere Botu reporting.
The Vice-Chancellor of Admiralty University of Nigeria, Christopher Bankole Obobo, has highlighted major achievements recorded during his first year in office, outlining reforms aimed at strengthening academic standards, improving student welfare, and positioning the institution as a contributor to food security and technological advancement. Professor Obobo spoke during a press conference held to mark his one-year anniversary as the Vice-Chancellor of the university. Henry Usiayo reports.
Reflecting on the past year, Professor Ogbobo said his administration has prioritized improving the quality of academic programs in the institution to ensure that graduates are well equipped to compete globally. According to him, the university management also embarked on a series of course visits to key stakeholders and host community shortly after assuming office, which has yielded positive results. The Vice-Chancellor also revealed that infrastructure development featured prominently within the year in review, as the university was working towards improving its energy efficiency as part of efforts to positively affect energy consumption within the campus.
1 year in office has been largely a journey with some potholes. However, I can say it's been largely smooth because I've had the cooperation of colleagues. With regards to what you want to talk achieve, let me start by saying, as a vice chancellor, what I've achieved is not just an individual effort. I've had fellow colleagues, workers here, who have stood by me and shared in my vision.
Professor Ogbobo said the university has strengthened its healthcare delivery system to ensure better medical support for the campus community. Staff and student welfare, he stressed, has remained a top priority for his administration. As part of the welfare initiatives, he said members of staff who wish to pursue postgraduate studies are now entitled to a 25% rebate on tuition, while staff whose children are enrolled in the university also receive a 25% fee rebate. The Vice-Chancellor further disclosed that student enrollment has witnessed significant growth within the past year. According to him, admission into the university has nearly doubled, increasing the student population from about 1,200 to 2,000 studentship.
The next 1 year first, we need to grow our facilities. Second, we need to grow our population. That will mean facilities for expansion in terms of the kind of programs we offer. I talked about the establishment of true faculties. If we have the resources, we will go beyond true faculties. My real focus is putting art effectively to be visible on the world.
The Vice-Chancellor added that the university will continue to pursue partnerships and strategic initiatives that will further enhance teaching, research, and community impacts. Henry Usiayo reporting.
Traders in the state capital have decried the rising cost of transportation of commodities and are calling on the government at all levels to intervene in the high cost of fuel. Violet Monya spoke with some traders at the Anyoma market along Opanam Road, Asaba.
Some traders at the market lamented that the recent hike in fuel price had led to the rise in the cost of transporting food items from farms and other cities to the market. They noted that the development had forced many traders to increase the prices of commodities such as beans, rice, and tomatoes.
This now cup now that they sell at 400 naira, which is not supposed to be so. Even rice now, before they buy this one 200, at least they go still give us buckets 35. But now 7,000 they sell.
This one Barambis 4,000, one at 3,280.
This one we buy today is 90,000. Some small basket, 70, 85. Like before now, this size now, 40,000. According to them, they say fuel, put money. So I make a high.
Other traders, however, said that although prices of some items had not increased significantly for now, they feared that the high transportation cost of bringing goods to the market could soon result in another hike in prices.
Garri now na 1.5. Now we dey sell. Before we dey sell 1 to 1,000. But as fuel come cost now, they come increase transport. We begin sell 1.5. Yam cost. Yam when we dey buy by 100 before 50,000. Yesterday na 150. They say fuel no dey. Money from Ugwa Usa come here. E high.
For now we still dey sell 1.5. As we dey sell before. He never add money, but any moment from now, if he add, because his transportation not be here now.
The traders appealed to government to take urgent steps to address the high cost of fuel and transportation, stressing that any relief in the situation would help stabilize food prices and improve business activities in the market. Violet Monye reporting.
The management of Delta State Signage and Advertisement Agency has announced the suspension of all signage and outdoor advertising billing across the state until further notice. A statement signed by Director of Public Communication, functioning Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Mrs. Stella Macaulay, says the directive affects billboards owned by third-party practitioners, business premises signage, lamppost advertisement, directional signs, mobile advertisement, road shows, touchpoint activations, and other outdoor advertisement platforms. The agency also stated that all subsisting contracts that extended into the 2026 operating year have been suspended with immediate effect. According to the statement, agents handling such contracts have been directed to report to the agency for reconciliation and rectification in line with the new operational framework. Business owners across the state have been advised to disregard any demand notice relating to signage billing, as all future bills will be coordinated and issued only by the agency or its authorized agent. The agency explained that the measure is aimed at aligning its operations with the administration's reform agenda and strengthening standards in the signage and outdoor advertising industry in the state. President Bola Tinubu has held a 2-hour security meeting with service chiefs at the presidential villa in Abuja to review strategies against renewed attacks in parts of the country. The meeting followed recent insurgent assaults on military formations in the northeast, including attacks that overran several bases in Borno State. Security chiefs briefed the president on ongoing operations and adjustments to military tactics to counter insurgent activities. Authorities say troops are continuing operations to reclaim strategic locations and neutralize insurgent elements, even as security forces record casualties in recent confrontations. The Senate leadership is set to hold a high-level meeting with officials of the International Monetary Fund as part of the ongoing Article IV-4 consultation of Nigeria's economic policies. The engagement, which runs from March 4 to March 17, will allow lawmakers to review the country's economic outlook and reform agenda of the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The consultation process involves discussions with key government institutions and is aimed at assessing Nigeria's financial stability and policy direction. Global financial institutions say Nigeria's economy is gradually improving but remains fragile due to inflation, fiscal pressures, and structural challenges. The IMF projects Nigeria's economy to grow by 3.4% in 2025, with stronger growth of around 4.4% expected in 2026 if current reforms continue. The Federal Character Commission has been urged to strengthen collaboration with the state governments to ensure fair representation of Deltans in the federal allocation of resources, employment opportunities, and infrastructure. The Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, made the call when a delegation of the Commission, led by the Commissioner representing Delta State, Honorable Loveth EDC, paid him a cousin visit at the SSG complex in Asaba. Dr. Emu emphasized the need for the Commission to strengthen its oversight role in ensuring equitable distribution of national resources and opportunities across the country. He noted that states had not been adequately represented in the military, paramilitary services, federal civil service, and the siting of federal infrastructure, and called for stronger synergy to address the imbalance. The SSG also reaffirmed the readiness of the state government to collaborate with the Commission to ensure Deltans benefit fairly from opportunities provided by the federal government. Earlier, the Federal Character Commissioner representing Delta State, Honorable Lovett EDC, said the Commission was mandated to ensure equitable representation of states, including in the ongoing recruitment of 50,000 police officers, and urged Deltans to take advantage of available federal opportunities. The Nigeria Meteorological Agency has issued a public health alert warning that several northern states face a heightened risk of cerebrospinal meningitis as dry season conditions intensify. The agency identified Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Yobe, and Borno as high-risk areas. Health experts say the disease spreads through respiratory droplets and thrives in crowded and poorly ventilated environments. Symptoms include sudden fever, severe headache, neck stiffness, vomiting, and sensitivity to light. Nigeria has experienced recurring outbreaks of the disease within Africa's meningitis belt, especially during the dry season when hot and dusty weather increases transmission risk. The state government has called on eligible candidates who applied for recruitment into the Nigeria Police Force to report to the ongoing physical and credential screening exercise in Asaba. In a statement, the Director General of the Delta State Bureau for Orientation and Communications, Dr. Fred Oyenesive, said the exercise being conducted by the Police Service Commission in collaboration with the Nigeria Police Force as part of the nationwide recruitment process. He explained that the screening is for candidates who received invitation letters indicating their screening centers and dates. Dr. Oyenesive added that applicants who missed earlier appointments, those who printed their forms after completing online registration, and those who received invitations without assigned screening centers should also attend. Affected candidates are to report to the State Police Command Headquarters, Okpanam Road, Asaba, with relevant documents for verification, while those already screened should disregard the notice. You are watching Delta Television Main News. Still to come, Congo set to vote in presidential election on Sunday. Details on this story and more after this short break. Please do stay with us.
We have a governor who is managing the resources of the state very, very prudently. When we say that governance will not cease because we are in what you may call pre-election year, you could see that the governor is walking the talk. He's looking ahead by delivering projects that touches the life of the people. We are doing this supervision and tour of these projects because the governor has made it clear that if you fall short of the provisions in the Bill of Engineering Measurement and Evaluation, we will blacklist you. And we are seeing much more quality work coming in. We're also seeing greater speed.
As a host community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility. I always say it, keep to it. If you keep to the corporate social responsibility, no host community will hold you ransom.
You're welcome back. You are watching Delta Television Main News. The global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
Cuba has opened talk with the United States as worsening economic conditions push the Caribbean nation deeper into crisis. President Miguel Diaz-Canel says the discussions aim to resolve long-standing differences through dialogue and reduce tensions between the two countries. The talks come after the administration of President Donald Trump tightened restrictions, including cutting off Venezuela oil shipments to Cuba. The measures have worsened fuel shortages, power outages, and rising prices across the island, with many residents spending long hours without electricity. In the capital, Havana, residents have staged protests over persistent blackouts, raising hopes that renewed dialogue could ease the economic hardship. Voters in the Republic of the Congo head to the polls on Sunday in a presidential election widely expected to keep longtime leader Denis Sassou Nguesso in power. The 82-year-old president has ruled the oil-producing Central African nation for most of the period since 1979. He faces 6 lesser-known challengers after major opposition parties declined to field candidates, while 2 prominent opposition figures remain in prison. Human rights groups says the election is taking place amid a climate of repression, with arrests of activists, suspension of opposition parties, and heavy security presence ahead of the votes. Government officials, however, insist the election will be conducted in a transparent and democratic manner.
And now to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks to place suspicious bank verification numbers on temporary watch list for up to 24 hours when fraudulent transactions are detected. The directive is contained in an amendment to the regulatory framework guiding BVN operations in the banking industry. Under the new policy, financial institutions must contact BVN holders within the 24-hour window to clarify suspicious transactions. The framework also restricts BVN registration to individuals aged 18 and above, limits phone number updates at once, and maintains that BVN data will only be accessible to licensed financial institutions. The new provisions will take effect on May 1, 2026. And still in business, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has increased its ex-depot price of premium motor spirit to 1,175 naira per litre, reversing an earlier reduction announced earlier in the week. The adjustment follows a surge in global crude oil prices, which has pushed up refining costs. The refinery had earlier reduced the price to 1,075 naira per litre, triggering increased buying activity among depot operators. Industry sources say the sudden price increase has temporarily disrupted trading across several depots, with some operators halting transactions while awaiting clarity on the new pricing structure. Away from business, now to sports. Nigeria's women national basketball team, the Tigers, are refocusing after a 77-60 defeat to South Korea in their second game of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament in Lyon, France. The loss marks the first time the African champions have been beaten by the South Koreans. Head coach Rina Wakama urged her squad to quickly put the setback behind them and prepare for their next fixture against the Philippines. The match was closely contested in the first half, with Nigeria trailing 36-32 at halftime. However, the Tigers struggled to maintain the time intensity in the second half, allowing South Korea to pull away and secure the win. Victoria Makoli was again a key performer for Nigeria, following her standout MVP performance against Colombia. She finished the game with 22 points and 6 rebounds, showing consistency despite the team's overall difficulties. The Tigers and Germany have already secured their spot for the main tournament scheduled in September in Berlin, Germany. For teams like Nigeria, the qualifying tournament serves as crucial preparation, while other nations, including South Korea, are still vying for the remaining World Cup slot. The tournament is being hosted across 4 nations: France, Turkey, Puerto Rico, and China. After facing the Philippines on Saturday, Nigeria will close out their qualifying schedule against host France and Germany. Wakama remains optimistic that the lessons learned from the defeat will strengthen her squad for the challenges ahead. And that's our news. Now to our thought for the day. A good person does not need laws and commands to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. And to end Delta Television main news, here are the highlights. State Executive Council approves over 400 billion naira for projects and programs. Traditional rulers are pillars of peace and development, says Governor Oborewori. President Bola Tinubu holds security meeting with security chiefs. And abroad, Congo sets to vote in presidential election on Sunday. And that's the size of our bulletin tonight. On behalf of the production team, I am Tony Iluaka. Have a good evening.